think what Tim's doing is sort of, I guess, not limiting himself by the thinking that might have spawned out of his generation, and is instead, which I find really does ill prepare us for the world around us. I think it in fact limits us and disempowers us rather than expanding our thinking and empowering us. I think taking a thinking that was taking the thinking that I have that was formed in my formative years between, say, the ages of 12 and 18 or something, in those teenage years, and taking them all the way through my career is disempowering. And that's what I guess what I mean by generational thinking. What Tim sounds like he's doing is he's thinking, well, you know, I'm 21, 41 or 61, doesn't matter. I don't even know how old he is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to think in much more expanded, empowering, all-encompassing, multi-generational mindsets. Where he's sort of thinking, right, these guys are young, there's some things that even though I might be twice their age, that they know that I don't. And there are things that I know that these guys half my age don't know. And there can be some learning and exchange both ways. I think we're going to see a new age of mentoring and coaching. I think we need to. And I guess a belief of development beyond learning, that it is in fact that coaching and mentoring is a two-way exchange. It's not just the student and the teacher. It is the student and the teacher, but both people are students and teachers, regardless of whether they're 21, 41 or 61. I think we need to look at coaching and mentoring a little bit differently. In fact, let me give you an example. A number of companies that we work with back in Australia, we work with their graduates who are fresh out of university in their first year or two out of university, and then we pull in their middle managers who manage them every day, and then we pull in some of their senior leaders who mentor them. And we facilitate this cross engagement of information and expectations and what's your role and what's my role and what can you teach me and what can I teach you, and both ways. And then you get the manager and the mentor, and you get this kind of slosh of interchange and collaboration and real relationship building between people who have different sets of values. And sometimes the senior leader is older than, sometimes the manager is older than the mentor. It's got nothing to do with age. It's got nothing to do with the baby boomer teaches Generation X who teaches Generation Y, which seems to be the thinking. And it's ridiculous. It's such an absurd, limited way of approaching business. What we need to do is find out what our highest values are and what the highest values are of the people around us. And in the workplace, think, who do I work for? What's important to them? Who do they work for and what's important to them? And then look at their peers and look at my manager's peers and say, well, what value can I give to that environment, to that network? And then the people who work for me do the same. Because I think when we tap into what's highest in our values and help other people do the same, then we get inspired performance. And we begin to win that war for engagement into a thrivalist sort of mindset.